Guys, I just finished Peak, and I want to talk about it while it's all fresh in my head because by God, I just got done bawling my eyes out for 5 minutes straight when everything hit me at once. I am, of course, talking about the legendary Outer Wilds. I am telling you right now, this video, I'm gonna spoil the fucking crap out of the game, but I'll give you the spoiler warning before, okay? Just to get this out of the way, I am so glad I decided to give this game a second chance because I tried playing this game on my main channel about a year ago and I just did not enjoy it at all. I didn't enjoy it because I wasn't into fully narrative driven games at that time. I was like, well, there's no gameplay, there's nothing going on, I have to read all of this stuff, you know, this just sounds like boring, and I just didn't think much of it. Absolutely stupid move on my part, and I am so glad because of the excuse of having a second channel now and wanting to grow that channel that I did a complete let's play of Outer Wilds on my second channel. Link, by the way, in the comments if you want to see that full let's play. I'll link the whole playlist in the comments, check it out. But it was epic. I would confidently put Outer Wilds now in my top 5 video games of all time, like right alongside with greats like Silk Song, Cory in the House, and I've just bought the DLC. I'm super excited to play the DLC on my second channel as well. It just got done installing. Outer Wilds is one of those weird games that people said that the ending of the game will really hit me, and it actually didn't hit me super hard when I was recording it, even when I was editing the video. It was only when after I uploaded it and I sat down with a cup of coffee and I thought about what I had just gone through while I was listening to the soundtrack of the game, I started really tearing up and getting emotional because this game is such a masterpiece. First of all, it's one of the most uniquely designed games I have ever played, where basically, okay, minor spoilers right now, the game involves time loops, but it's not the time loops like, for example, a roguelike, where if you die, for example in Hades 2, yeah, you have to repeat the whole level, but you get to keep some upgrades, you know, you get some power-ups. Nothing like that. Everything resets after the end of the time loop, and the only thing you gather is knowledge and lore. That's about it, and because of that knowledge and lore, it lets you do more in your next time loop, and the only incentive you have is your curiosity. The game doesn't give you any objective. In fact, the game asks you at the very start before you blast off into space, what do you want to do in space? And there's a couple of options, you know. Do you want to explore? Do you want to learn about the Nomai people, which is like this ancient civilization that used to inhabit our solar system? Things like that. And you just kinda, there's like interesting things everywhere. You just pick a direction and go, and once you reach that direction and you discover something, it puts that on your rumors chart, which is basically a lore chart. That's the only thing that carries from time loop to time loop. And every time you find something, the chart, you know, it connects lines and dots to little nooks and crannies of information you're finding on all these different planets until the whole big picture becomes clear. And by God, that's one of the most beautiful, satisfying, mind-blowing big picture of all time. The actual revelation is so fucking huge and so satisfying, which is very surprising because a lot of times games like these and books like these, they do very good job in Act 1 and Act 2 building up the mystery, building up all these little things, but then the payoff usually always falls flat with these kinds of things. Not with this game. It just keeps getting better and better and better the later you get into the game, and it's a good thing when the peakest moment of a video game is its ending. Like, it's just a constant upward slope all the way till the very end of the game, and I don't think there's a bigger compliment out there for this game. It's so perfect. I can't find a single flaw, and I can't even nitpick a single flaw in this game, even if I tried to. It's just that good. But here's the thing, it's not for everyone. I would say this right now, this game is not for everyone, which is what makes this game so good, because the game designers did not cater at all to anybody, and I feel like those are the best kind of games. Think about how bad Silk Song and Hollow Knight would be if Team Cherry listened to the general audiences and made the games like easier. They nerfed the boss fights, you know, they give you an easy mode. It like fuck up the whole experience of the game. I believe the best kind of games are those that have a target audience in mind and are not designed just for anybody, right? A very, very small, dumb example I can give you. Again, very minor, very light spoilers, nothing too crazy. I'll give you the big spoiler warning in a second, okay? Like, not giving you objectives, but letting you just have your own quests and objectives in your own head. It would have been so easy to even do simple things as letting the rumors show up as little checkboxes on the top left of your screen instead of like a ship log. But that little subtle gameplay changes the vibe of the game completely. It's very, very, very targeted to a specific kind of audience, and if you fall into that audience, you'd have a great time. But if you are like me, who like tried this game, rejected it, or just looked at it and like didn't wanna, bother with it, please give this game a chance, because it might just be the very best thing you did in recent memory when it comes to video games. Alright, click off this video, go buy the game, have fun. Now I'm gonna get into the spoiler territory, so here's a warning, okay? 3, 2, 1, fuck. Now that the normies are gone, here's the big news of the day. A Silksong Sea of Sorrow DLC is actually coming out tomorrow. I have insider information from Ari Gibson's mom. Back to Outer Wilds. So the story of this game is just so fucking beautiful. I am not a lore master, and I haven't really seen any lore videos yet. I really want to check those out later. So feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Please do so. A lot of my knowledge comes from just playing the game and reading your comments. Now that I've finished the game and I can actually delve into my comment section of that series, because I was avoiding comments because I didn't want to be spoiled. So like, correct me if I'm wrong, okay? But basically, Nomai, there's a species called the Nomai, and they're travelers, they're explorers, they are hungry for knowledge. Nomais have different clans. Each clan has a vessel. A vessel is like their big spaceship. So each clan has their own big spaceship, and they venture out into the universe, and they discover new technology, they discover new findings, they do their whole thing. And then every 10 years, I think it's 10 years, they all meet up to share the knowledge they have gathered, and it's like a big festival, It's not a competition, everyone wins, everyone learns from each other, and then they're off again. One of these Nomai clans detected a weird signal from this thing called, they dubbed the Eye of the Universe, because it was a signal that was older than the universe itself. So they came to our solar system, the solar system that the game takes place in, to find out about it, like what's it about. And then they get captured because they warp here, right? They have this technology that lets them warp from any point in space to any other point in space. They can basically travel like that because of wormhole technology, because they're a very advanced species. So they warp into our solar system. Unfortunately, they warp into this weird planet, Dark Bramble, where space doesn't make sense. Like, from outside it looks like a little ball, but you go in and it's like this huge space, and it's like basically infinite looping space. It's infinite. It's actually infinite on the inside. There's like thorny vines there. There's big giant angler fish monster. The Nomai get there. They get stuck. Their vessel gets like damaged. It shoots out escape pods. One escape pods get absolutely fucked in Dark Bramble itself, while two other manage to escape. One falls into this planet called Ember Twin, and one falls into this other planet called Brittle Hollow. So each of those pods, the Nomai survivors, they start like a settlement there. Anyway, they're stuck there now. So they're like, you know what? We can't communicate with the other Nomai clans anyway because their shit breaks down. They're like, might as well finish what we started. Might as well find the Eye of the Universe. They try to building some like crude eye locators. The first one they build on is, I think, on the Addle Rock, which is the moon of our main planet, like the main character's main planet. That's the first one they build, and then they build like a more sophisticated locator on Brittle Hollow, which is one of the planets that one of their pods landed on, right? It's a planet with the black hole inside it. None of those locators are able to find the Eye of the Universe. Soon they discover a moon that teleports around every single planet in the solar system. And one of the Nomai, Solanum, which I kept calling him a he, but it's a she finds out a way to get to the quantum moon. It's a whole different saga of quantum stuff in this game, and it's very inspired by real quantum mechanics, like superpositions, two things being two possibilities being there at once until you observe it, and then the possibilities collapse into one reality, things like that. I am very, very big in physics. I love physics, I love astronomy, I love quantum mechanics, I love studying the theory of relativity. I do this shit in my free time because I'm obsessed. And for a person like me, this shit was so fucking peak, like in a video game form. And the way they explain it too, like, yeah, having prior knowledge of these concepts really help, but you don't need to. Like, you don't need to be a fucking quantum physics expert to understand the game. They actually explain it in a very nice manner. But it's just, if you know it, the experience is even more elevated when you kind of know what the fuck they're talking about. Either way, so they failed to locate this eye through these locators that they're building. The closest they can get to is the quantum moon, which is a moon that's orbiting the eye of the universe. The eye of the universe is quantum, which is why it gives its own moon quantum properties, which means the moon is at every location at once unless you observe it, and then once you observe it, that moon, that position collapses into reality as long as you're looking at it. As soon as you look away and you look back, the moon's gone. Weird quantum stuff. You'll have to play the game to fully understand it. Point is, that's as close as they can get, is to the moon of the eye, not the eye itself. So they say, fuck it, we're not gonna bother with locators anymore and radio waves and energy waves. We're gonna find it the old-fashioned way. They basically know that the eye is in orbit around the sun. They just don't know where it is. So they say they're gonna build a probe and they're gonna locate it just old-fashioned way. Shoot out a probe and pray for the best that it finds the fucking eye. Very cool concept if you have 10 million years to do it, because it's a solar system. They don't know how big or small this thing is. It could be as big as a rock or as big as a planet. Like, good luck just finding, like, chucking a probe in a random direction and finding it, right? How do they solve that problem? Well, they discover... Because, okay, this is actually pretty cool. So how they even got to that point is, one of the planets they settled into, Brittle Hollow, it has a black hole inside it, and Nomai already had advanced black hole technology because they could use it to, travel. Well, they built a white hole station. In case you end up falling in the black hole, you'll always get shot out of the white hole station, and then you can use that white hole station to basically travel back to Brittle Hollow. When they built that, they realized that you arrive before you fall in. So basically, imagine the black hole as an entrance and the white hole as an exit. Before you enter the black hole entrance, you already arrive from the exit. It's very minute, like 1/100,000th of a second or something like that, like a very, very small anomaly, but it is there. And you can actually observe it because there's like these little kiosks that you can scan after you arrive to a portal. That'll tell you your departure and arrival time, and your arrival time is like 100,000th of a second before you actually, fell into the black hole or warped or whatever, right? It's pretty cool. So they're like, wow, if you're arriving back in time, even a little bit, can we increase that? So they start working on this thing called the Ash Twin Project. And this is where the big brain of it all coming in, because again, you're learning all of this as you play more and more and more, which is what makes the experience better and better and better the more you play. It's such a cool idea. Anyway, to solve this problem, they thought they're gonna build this thing called the Ash Twin Project. The simple idea being, what if they can harvest this time travel tendency of warping and basically launch the probe out that they're building to scan for the eye, launch it, and then go back in time, and then launch it, and then go back in time, and then launch it, and then go back in time. Basically, an infinite time loop until the probe finds the eye. Now, that would be hell living in that time loop. Well, that's the beauty of it. You wouldn't be aware of the fact that you are in a time loop. So hundreds and thousands of years can pass of you in that time loop. To you, it'll just be 22 minutes. That's as far back as the time loop is, right? To you, it'll just be 22 minutes. That's their idea. That's what they want to do. And basically how they'll break out of that time loop is they have these masks. Basically what the masks do is once the probe detects the eye, it sends that information back to the mask. Mask basically like stores memory. In simple terms, once they programmed it in a way that as soon as they locate the eye signal, when you're in the time loop, you'll all of a sudden be aware of it. Like, you'll know the coordinates, you'll know that you're in a time loop, you'll know what the coordinates are, and then you can like stop the cycle. Now here's the thing, to power this project, they need a lot of fucking energy, and I mean a lot of energy. Energy of a supernova. So basically, they want to explode the sun on purpose, and that supernova will give them enough energy to power their Ash Twin project to start this time loop cycle so that they can locate the eye and, figure out their discovery. Now, because it's a time loop, when the probe finds the eye, right, and it makes the Nomai aware of the fact that it has found the coordinates and it has worked, it'll be 22 minutes before the star explodes, basically before the sun station that they've built makes the star explode. It'll be before that. So the basic gist of it is, their orbital cannon that they've built, it sends a probe out, it searches for 22 minutes, the sun explodes, powering the Astron project, bringing the whole loop back in time before the probe fired. Then the probe fires in another direction, 22 minutes pass, the sun explodes, go back in time, probe fires again, and it keeps doing it till it finds the eye. As soon as it finds the eye, the Nomai, who's connected to the mass, gets aware about it, and then they can stop the sun's explosion. So technically, the sun wouldn't really explode and kill the solar system just for their thirst of knowledge. That's the idea. And that's a great idea, but it fucking fails because their sun station fails to explode the sun. It just doesn't happen, it just fails to explode it, and that puts the whole mission on halt. And as if that wasn't bad enough, they get kicked while they were down when a weird comet arrives in the solar system. They go to explore it, and there's a thing in it called ghost matter, and it's encased in this hard casing which ruptures, and causing the immensely pressurized ghost matter to envelop the entire solar system and kill all the Nomai. That's how the Nomai died. And hundreds and thousands of years pass after that happens, and naturally the sun goes supernova at the end of its life cycle, triggering the Ash Twin project, which ends up sending that probe out like 9 million times. And as soon as it finds it, it activates the Nomai statues, but there's no Nomai around. The only people around now are us, the Hartians, and two Hartians, you, the playable character, and Gabbro, another Hartian. They get the data instead. Sadly, the module that's responsible for receiving the coordinates has sunken below, like in the core of a planet. You go on this whole side quest to, figure out a way how to get those actual coordinates to you. Once you get those coordinates, here comes the tragic part. Originally, the plan was made hundreds and thousands of years ago. Originally, the sun was gonna be exploded artificially, and then being back in time, they could just not do it, right? They just didn't have to explode the sun. Now it exploded naturally because the universe is dying. There's no way to necessarily not explode the sun. And once you remove the power source of the Ash Twin project, like this warp core, because you need that now to go to the eye of the universe, the time loop is, it's just stopped and the universe just ends. And you get transformed into like this quantum realm. It's this whole fucking thing that happens. Basically, a new universe is born. And I put that together that it's like 14.3 billion years later, which is technically how old our universe is. So in the real timeline, it kind of fits as like we are like this universe is like the next universe that was formed, and the Outer Wilds universe was the universe that came before it. Pretty cool stuff. Originally, I thought that the ending had something to do with the DLC. That's not the case at all. The DLC apparently is something completely different. Very excited to try out. Again, I don't know why I just yapped to you about the whole plot of Outer Wilds as I understand it. I'm sure I got a lot of details wrong. Please correct every single thing I've said wrong. And of course, I missed a lot of stuff out. Like, there's a lot of things you can explore and learn about the Nomai. But oh my god, I had to explain it to you because you learn these things over time. Like a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here. And you start piecing it all together, which means the farther you get into the game, the more hype everything becomes. And it's just so cool by the end. And you're like, what the fuck? This is one of the best experiences of my life. This game is absolute peak cinema. I'm so happy I played it. One of the best experiences of my life. And I just wanted to yap to you a little bit about it and just, tell you the plot of it because I'm so excited. It's like I want to go to a friend and tell them this cool fucking thing I saw. But yeah, thank you for listening to me yap. That's it for today. Primacon signing out.